would next like to invite Randy Lewis, representing United Indians of All Tribes Foundation.
Good morning. Thank you for being here. Before I start, I just want to thank people for the candlelight vigil last night, the prayers, for the family, and for John Williams. Before I read a letter that was drafted by Michael Reichert, the director or the chairman of the board for United Indians of All Tribes Foundation, I just want to make a personal note by saying Indian people in the city of Seattle, Native people throughout this country, we've experienced a lot of the same problems wherever you're at. The city of Seattle, like many of the great Northwest cities, owes its life, its livelihood, its tourism, millions of dollars to Native people. We come from a past of basket makers, of carvers, silver makers, who work on the street because this is where the tourists are. But we've been confronted over the years by the same situation, by the brutality, if not by the institutions, by individuals on the street. So this is not a separate event. It's one of many. We're not a people of a romantic past, nor are we a people of an irrelevant present. And we're not going to allow this to go swept under the rug. When I first heard of the shooting, they didn't even have to tell me who it was. All they had to say was a little man whittling. I knew one person for years who would come to my shop on Broadway. I ran a frame shop on Broadway. And he would ask me for wood, scraps of wood. Well, I always had wood. That's what picture framing's about. And he would take the wood and carve out on the porch. So I knew John very well for the past 10 years, 12 years. He was not a violent person. I don't think he had a malicious bone in his body, nor could he move fast enough to be aggressive. As I said in an email to our staff yesterday, the only people or the only thing that could be threatened by John was a piece of yellow cedar, maybe. So this letter is addressed to Chief John Diaz, Seattle Police Department, drafted again by Michael Reichert, the chairman of the board for United Indians of All Tribes Foundation. Dear Chief Diaz, it is with great sadness that we mourn the loss of one of our community members and gifted artist, John T. Williams. We offer our most sincere condolences to his family and friends. His life, as are all others, was valuable. That his death occurred under such uncertain circumstances is tragic and disconcerting to our Native community here in Seattle. On behalf of the Board of Directors of United Indians of All Tribes Foundation and the American Indian, Alaska Native, and Canadian First Nations people residing in the city of Seattle, we would like to present our response to the incident involving the shooting death of a Native American community member by an officer of the Seattle Police Department on August 31st, 2010. As an organization founded 40 years ago upon the principles of social justice for all people and dedicated to serving Seattle's Native people, we strongly condemn the unnecessary use of lethal force in any situation, save for the direst of circumstances. We appreciate the difficult job of the Seattle Police Department, and we appreciate the grave sacrifices made by the women and men serving in this profession. However, as citizens of this city, there is growing concern and outrage regarding the Seattle Police Department's use of lethal force in situations where it clearly does not warrant it. The testimony of numerous witnesses has raised concerns about the legitimacy of Officer Birk's choice to use deadly force. By all witnesses and media accounts, the situation describes a man in an entirely non-threatening posture at the moment of this shooting. Therefore, in the interest of human rights for citizens of all races in Seattle, it is imperative that a comprehensive and objective investigation be adhered to. We are dedicated to working with the Seattle Police Department to ensure that our force does not fail in your role to protect and serve, and that tragic and unnecessary deaths such as the one of John T. Williams are prevented in the future. Our expectation is that justice will be served and the results of the investigation will be presented to the Native community. Respectfully, Michael Reichert, White Earth Chippewa, Chairman of the Board of Directors, United Indians of All Tribes Foundation. Thank you.
I would next like to invite James Bible, the president of the local chapter of the NAACP.
Hello, bro. My name is James Bible, President, Seattle King County branch of the NAACP, and legal redress for the NAACP for the states of Alaska, Oregon, and Washington.